There comes a moment in a man's life, often in silence, sometimes in solitude, when the weight of lost love settles heavily upon his soul. At 35, you sit alone in your car, the engine quiet, but your mind racing. You wonder why, despite your efforts, despite your devotion, she slipped away like a shadow at dusk. You gave her your time, your presence, your unwavering loyalty. You were everything she could have asked for, or so you believed. But what if giving everything is not always the path to holding on? What if the very nature of your giving, the roles you step into, are misunderstood by the one you cherish most? It's a bitter paradox. Your generosity meets indifference. Your care fades into the background noise of her fading interest. And then, inexplicably, she chooses another, a man who seems to offer less, yet somehow captures her attention more. This is a story told in the quiet corners of countless hearts, a story of men who have learned too late the subtle, unspoken laws that govern attraction and affection. It is a tale written not in the language of romance, but in the unyielding logic of human nature and evolutionary truths. We often mistake love for sacrifice, kindness for submission, availability for value. But beneath the surface of desire lies a primal calculus, an ancient assessment that women perform instinctively the moment a man steps into their world. This assessment is not a judgment of worthiness in the moral sense, but a categorization. What role do you play in her story? Provider, protector, entertainer, emotional refuge? These are the archetypes she assigns, often unknowingly and rarely reconsidered. If you wear the mantle of provider, flashing your wealth or career success as a badge, you risk becoming a mere vessel of resources. To her eyes, you are no longer a man but a means, an ATM dispensing lifestyle and luxury. The romance dims under the shadow of transaction, and what was once affection becomes an unspoken expectation. If you offer yourself as an emotional anchor, the one who soothes every tear and listens through every tempest, you may find yourself confined to the role of comforter. In this space, your heart is a harbor, steady and safe, but a harbor that holds no fire. She leans into your steadiness, yet her passions wander elsewhere, drawn to currents you cannot control. Or perhaps you are the jester, the man who lightens every moment with laughter and wit. You become the delightful companion, the source of amusement and escape. Yet laughter, like a flickering flame, often casts only fleeting shadows. It entertains, but does not bind. In her mind, you remain the entertainer, not the essential. So how does a man transcend these roles? How does he reveal himself as more than a function or a label? The answer lies in authenticity, not as a concept, but as a lived reality. It is a courage to stand rooted in your own truth, to embody confidence that is not loud but undeniable, to establish boundaries that honor your worth without apology. Authenticity is the quiet revolution of the soul. It is the refusal to become a caricature in someone else's story. When you walk in the world as a complete man, flaws embraced, desires clear, values unshaken, you invite her to see you anew as a whole human being rather than a simple utility. This presence, this self-possession, is magnetic in a way no money, no endless support, no jokes can ever replicate. It demands recognition not through spectacle, but through substance. When you hold this space for yourself, you shift the dynamic entirely. You become the man who is sought not for what he can provide or soothe, but for who he truly is. And in that truth lies the possibility of connection, that is deep, enduring, and genuine. Not a connection built on need or expectation, but one born from mutual respect and the raw honesty of being fully seen. This is not a promise of easy love, nor a map free of hardship, but it is a path toward a relationship that transcends the surface, a relationship where attraction is not a fleeting spark, but a lasting flame. To sit in your car, alone, is not the end of the story. It is a moment of reflection, a crossroads where you can choose to walk forward with greater understanding and wisdom. The lessons are harsh, yes, but in embracing them, you reclaim your power, your dignity, and your chance at a love that is truly worthy of your soul. There is a silent law at work in the intricate dance between men and women, an ancient rhythm rooted in biology and echoed through time. It whispers this: when a man fails to claim his rightful place of leadership in the connection, a space opens, an emptiness that is inevitably filled, but rarely by the man himself. Instead, the woman steps in, assuming control, and with that shift, the delicate spark of attraction begins to fade. Masculine authority is not about domination or oppression. It is the quiet, unwavering confidence that a man exudes when he knows himself and does not waver. It is the strength to guide, to protect, and to decide, not for control's sake, but because in doing so, he becomes a beacon of reliability and security. This is the language women have been hardwired to recognize since the dawn of humanity. A man who leads, who stands firm, signals to her that he carries the legacy of survival, the promise of safety. Yet, beneath the surface of modern interactions, a subtle detector hums, a finely tuned system women possess for sensing weakness. This is no grand revelation. It is the subconscious reading of fear, of insecurity, of neediness. Within moments, a woman reads the signals that betray a man's uncertainty. When you bend at every whim, when your opinions shift like wind-blown leaves, when approval becomes your currency, your value diminishes. She feels, not consciously, but instinctively, that here is a man less suited for partnership, less fit in the ancient game of life. And so the vacuum emerges. Leadership absent, authority unclaimed, a void appears. Rather than balance, the relationship shifts into an uneven dance where she takes up the mantle of the guide. She makes decisions, sets boundaries, steers the emotional currents. The roles invert. What was meant to be masculine leadership becomes feminine dominance. This inversion is a wound to attraction because the primal code cannot reconcile respect and desire when roles blur in such a way. Deep within her, evolutionary echoes resound. Weakness in a man was once a threat to survival, a liability not only to himself, but to the woman and the offspring who depended on strength and security. This primal truth lives on in the subconscious, shaping attraction with ruthless clarity. When perceived as weak, a man no longer inspires desire. Instead, his presence breeds contempt and frustration, transforming from protector to burden. Here lies the paradox that often stings the kind-hearted man. Niceness, though noble, often finds itself at the back of the line in the marketplace of attraction. The nice guy is a figure both celebrated and overlooked, admired yet rarely desired with the intensity true passion demands. Women's desires are not static. They shift and evolve with time. In youth, many are drawn to the wild, the unpredictable, the emotionally tempestuous. The bad boy's storm is thrilling, intoxicating, a fierce fire that scorches and captivates. The nice guy, by contrast, offers calm and predictability, qualities that may be appreciated but do not ignite the fierce longing of youth's passion. He is the steady shore while she chases waves. Only after the trials of heartbreak and chaos have worn her spirit down, when the thrill dims and the yearning turns toward peace, does the steady presence gain favor. Yet, even then, the nice guy is often a second choice, the safe harbor after the storms have passed, the consolation prize of settling. What divides these archetypes are qualities that pull attraction in opposite directions. Where niceness bows, challenge stands firm. Where predictability soothes, mystery entices. Where accommodation yields, standards command respect. Where emotional availability floods, healthy distance sparks desire. Where pleasing others sacrifices self-worth, self-respect demands acknowledgement. Women's words often praise kindness and reliability, but their hearts respond to strength, independence, and authenticity. This contradiction is not deception. It is the gap between what is intellectually preferred and what instinctively attracts. Respect, not mere liking, is the foundation of desire. Without it, attraction withers. The nice guy's reluctance to draw boundaries, to risk disapproval, to assert himself signals a deficit of strength. He tells her, "Your approval matters more than my dignity." In that message, admiration dies. True magnetic power arises when a man stands firm, when he is willing to say no, to hold his ground, to protect his values with grace and courage. This is the essence of masculine authority, not a loud assertion, but a quiet, resolute presence that commands respect. To be desired is to be respected. To be respected is to be strong. To be strong is to be authentic. When you embody this, you awaken something primal within her, a recognition, a call, a stirring that words cannot capture. Attraction flourishes not from accommodation, but from the boldness to be yourself fully and unapologetically. This is the unspoken truth of connection, the foundation upon which genuine desire is built. Before we dive further into the complexities of female psychology, take a moment. If you find value here, please like and subscribe. The truths I share often challenge comfort zones. They're lessons many men only learn when it's too late. Your support helps keep this crucial knowledge alive, knowledge that might just save you from years of frustration and heartbreak. One of the most startling realities many men face is this: women frequently struggle to grasp the emotional world of men. Male vulnerability is not met with empathy, but often mistaken for weakness. From childhood, boys and girls absorb very different emotional instructions. Men are told to be strong, to man up, to suppress tears and feelings. This shapes women's expectations too. She comes to see men as steadfast rocks, unyielding and solid. So when that rock reveals cracks, moments of sadness, fear, or emotional neediness, her confidence in that stability falters. Emotional labor in relationships is rarely balanced. Women may expect men to listen, to validate, to comfort, but when men seek similar support, discomfort or resentment can arise. This creates an imbalance where men are unpaid emotional caretakers, giving without receiving. Many women simply lack the tools or inclination to provide men the emotional care they need. Vulnerability also carries a hidden cost in attraction. When a man opens emotionally to a woman, respect and desire may quietly erode, even if she isn't consciously aware of it. The paradox: men are expected to be emotionally strong enough to support women, yet emotionally self-reliant enough to need no support themselves. Here's a puzzling psychological truth. Women often find emotionally unavailable men more attractive than those who are openly present and interested. This ties to scarcity psychology. Humans place higher value on what is rare or difficult to obtain. A man who responds instantly, is always available, eager and accessible becomes abundant, and less valuable in her eyes. Emotionally unavailable men create artificial scarcity by delaying responses and maintaining distance. This scarcity inflates their desirability. Then there is the addictive challenge, the emotional chase. Many women become hooked on pursuing emotionally distant men, driven by the uncertainty, the thrill of small victories when he shows interest. This dance triggers dopamine releases, creating a biochemical addiction. Men who are readily available offer no challenge, no mystery, no emotional roller coaster, and therefore, no rush of passionate attraction. The validation hierarchy reflects this. Gaining the attention of an emotionally unavailable man feels like a significant achievement, like winning a championship, whereas attention from an available man is akin to a participation prize. Difficulty enhances value. Paradoxically, some women derive higher self-esteem from the struggle to earn love from difficult men than from receiving love from kind ones. The challenge of toxic relationships can make any positive attention feel hard-won and deeply valued. This explains why women often stay in damaging relationships while leaving healthy ones. Throughout a relationship, women continuously test men. These tests assess compatibility, how a man handles stress, conflict, social scenarios, and surprises. She evaluates whether he could be a reliable partner for the long haul. Boundary testing is another constant. She probes to discover what limits you hold, whether you enforce your rules or bend to keep the peace. Men who fail these tests lose respect instantly. She must see that you have firm standards and that you will uphold them under pressure. Yielding every time erodes attraction and respect alike. Understanding these patterns reveals much about the invisible currents shaping relationships. It offers men insight into the unspoken language women use to measure character, worth, and lasting potential. Confidence is not merely a trait, but a currency that women continually assess, often through subtle and unconscious tests. She may challenge your opinions, not out of defiance, but to observe whether you possess the courage to stand by your beliefs, or if you will waver under pressure. When she questions something you cherish, she is probing the depth of your convictions. Drama might be introduced, not as manipulation, but as a way to witness your composure in moments of tension. Though these trials can feel unfair or bewildering, they emerge from a primal need to evaluate your emotional steadiness and strength. Interest, too, must be measured carefully in her eyes. She will pull away, create distance, or mention other men, not to provoke jealousy maliciously, but to gauge your attachment and gauge whether your feelings develop too quickly. This dance of closeness and withdrawal is her way of calibrating the pace of connection. The key to navigating these moments lies in quiet confidence, not reacting impulsively, not taking the bait, but maintaining a steady and calm presence. Amid the noise of modern declarations of independence, one truth remains immutable. Women seek security in many intertwined forms. It is a silent, enduring demand beneath the surface of every relationship. Financial security transcends the simple ledger of income. It is a demonstration of competence and reliability, the assurance that life's unpredictable storms can be weathered with wisdom and planning. Women want to know that their partner can sustain a household, face emergencies with resolve, and cultivate a stable future. This is not about dependency, but the comfort of knowing that such support exists if needed. Emotional security is no less vital. It is the promise of unwavering presence, the pledge to remain steadfast when emotions run high. Women desire a partner who can manage his own feelings, who is steady rather than volatile, and who offers a sanctuary rather than a tempest. Without this emotional regulation, the foundation of trust begins to crumble. Physical security, though often unspoken in modern times, is rooted in an ancient instinct. Women long to feel protected, to know that their partner can and will defend them and their loved ones from harm. This is not simply about strength, but about the willingness to accept responsibility for safety in all forms. Social security rounds out this intricate web. The ability to navigate social circles with respect, to hold status and honor within a community, enhances her sense of security. Being with a man who elevates her standing and commands respect is deeply reassuring. Here lies a difficult, often overlooked paradox. Love is sometimes insufficient when measured against security. Women frequently choose the certainty of security over the unpredictability of love. They may stay with men they do not love if those men provide steadfast security, and leave those they love when security falters. The heart is complex, but the instinct for survival often rules quietly beneath affection. An equally challenging reality confronts many men. A woman's self-worth is closely bound to her physical appearance, a truth shaped from her earliest years. From childhood, girls are conditioned to equate their value with their beauty. Compliments focus on appearance, on dresses, hair, smiles, and this external affirmation embeds itself deeply. As she grows, the belief takes root that desirability defines her worth. This internalized dependency creates a hunger for continual validation. Women seek reassurance that they remain attractive, that their allure endures. Without this affirmation, self-esteem can falter. For a man aware of this dynamic, his words, whether affirming or dismissive, carry tremendous influence over her sense of self. The passage of time intensifies these anxieties. As beauty naturally changes, many women feel their value slipping away. This fear drives behaviors that may confuse men. The obsession with youth, the quest for cosmetic enhancement, the pursuit of attention. Understanding this vulnerability reveals a powerful lever, one that some men use to manipulate through cycles of validation and doubt. Yet, wisdom demands a different response. To approach this fragile core with empathy, to honor the human being beyond appearance, and to resist exploiting insecurities for personal gain. Attention, it is the silent currency circulating through the social lives of women, shaping choices, behaviors, and self-worth. This quest for acknowledgement forms an unspoken economy where validation becomes the measure of value. Imagine this marketplace of validation. Long before hashtags and likes dominated, women competed not just for male approval, but for recognition within their social circles. Today, platforms like Instagram have amplified this ancient dynamic, making attention an ever-present force, driving actions that might seem superficial, but are, in reality, survival mechanisms within a complex social ecosystem. Female self-esteem often hinges on this external affirmation. Unlike men, who can anchor their identity in accomplishments or skills, many women find their sense of worth tangled in the reflections of others. To be ignored or dismissed strikes not just as neglect, but as a profound wounding of the self, a rejection more visceral than many men realize. This craving for attention expresses itself on a spectrum. For some, it whispers through carefully curated images or words. For others, it roars in moments of crisis or drama, demanding rescue or recognition. Regardless of form, the objective remains the same: to remain visible, to be valued. Beneath this surface lies a subtle rivalry, a competition that colors interactions even when unspoken. The uneasy reaction women display when attention drifts elsewhere isn't mere jealousy, but a manifestation of this ongoing contest for social capital. Yet, beyond these social layers, biology speaks its own language. Sexual desire, often presumed symmetrical between men and women, diverges by nature. Men's drive tends toward breadth and intensity. Women's, shaped by evolutionary caution, moves with rhythm and selectivity. Biology imposes limits and fluctuations. Hormones dance through cycles, swelling desire at times, receding at others. This ebb and flow is no slight, no personal withdrawal. It is simply the body's ancient cadence. Emotion intertwines with desire. For many women, passion cannot be sustained without the roots of emotional security. Physical attraction alone wilts without intimacy's nourishing soil. Thus, the journey to enduring desire is a delicate balance of heart and body, not constant flame, but a rhythm to respect. The early glow of new love often conceals this reality. Excitement and novelty can equalize desire, sometimes even elevate female passion beyond male levels. Yet this phase fades, giving way to familiar patterns where desire settles, often lower than the man's. Holding on to the honeymoon illusion invites inevitable disappointment. Acceptance, then, is the wiser path. Seeing her desire as variable, influenced by biology and emotion, frees men from misinterpretation. It shifts focus toward understanding her unique triggers and cultivating connection over quantity. Armed with this awareness, men face a choice: to wield knowledge with cynicism or with wisdom. Clarity opens the door to better decisions, resilience to emotional tests, and the capacity to meet reality rather than fantasy. But this insight must be a tool for honesty and respect, not manipulation. To attract authentically, men align themselves with traits women naturally seek, not imagined ideals. This alignment fosters genuine connection and mutual satisfaction. Above all, this understanding guards what is precious: time, resources, emotions, and the heart itself. Knowing the terrain of female psychology protects men from exploitation and fruitless investment. It offers the discernment to nurture relationships with true potential and shield against draining patterns. Practical application means setting firm boundaries, calibrating expectations, and focusing on self-development that resonates with real attraction, not illusions. The harsh truth is that most men learn these lessons late, through hardship and loss. Those who grasp them early gain a profound advantage in crafting fulfilling, respectful relationships. The choice is yours: to live in hopeful ignorance or embrace these truths with courage, turning knowledge into empowered action. This is not a call to distrust women, but to understand them deeply so that relationships grow stronger and more authentic. If these insights resonate, support the channel with a like and subscribe, and share to help others awaken sooner. Remember, true power lies not just in knowing, but in facing uncomfortable realities with calm and strategy. Understanding these truths transforms cynicism into clarity, confusion into confidence, and pain into protection. Choose awareness. Choose growth. Shape your journey with wisdom. If this exploration has stirred something within you, share your thoughts in the comments, or simply your presence. Thank you for walking this path with us today. If this journey has stirred something within you, reflection, awareness, even clarity, know that you are not alone. Until next time, take care of your energy and honor your intuition.